What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol SPWR for SunPower Corp. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First thing to make you aware of is that in the after-hours session, they did announce that SunPower is set to join the S&P 400 mid-cap tier. So that being said, that's obviously a positive catalyst, and in the extended hours session, we're seeing some major price development to the upside. That's as firms, or essentially, ETF managers are buying and selling different things to get this into the ETF, essentially. So look for that to continue, right, as the regular trading hours session essentially unfolds. But with a gap up on our hands, we essentially have to consider the gap rules. So let's say for the sake of today's video that we'll be opening up around this 25 whole number, and that the overnight high will remain up here at 25.45. Remember, a lot can happen between now and 9:30, but this is going to give us a general framework that we can use to navigate the bell tomorrow morning. Taking a look at the daily time frame to talk about how this might unfold, we always need to consider, whenever we're dealing with gaps, the possibility of a gap and trap or a gap and go. First one is the gap and trap, in which case we're trading back lower to fill the gap underneath us towards today's high at 23. We'll call it for round number 6. So how would that look, right? If we open here, fail to take out the overnight high, trade back down through the open, you're looking for a short to trade down again into that 23 target. Do keep in mind there will likely be a bump in the road at this prior pivot high. Let's throw that on the chart together. That's going to be around 23.44, 23.50, right? Let's sort of put more emphasis on that open and upper wick there. So 23.50 would be the number I watch out for as a bump in the road if we get the gap and trap. Let's go on over to the trade tab and just make sure that this is shortable 100%, right? So easy to borrow here. I wouldn't really recommend that you go with puts if this is the play here, just noting that the options volume that's going through here is not the greatest, and look at your spread, right? So 40 by 65, the at the money sort of strike in here, 116 by 151. It just doesn't make sense to try to market in and out of these types of contracts. So back on over to the charts, to talk about the upside now. If we get the gap and go, that would look like this, right? So if we open here, trade and consolidate in this range, never take out the low of day, you're looking for a break of the pre-market high to set off the leg higher. What would we look at for resistance? Well, notice how also the pre-market high as of right now, play pretend and extend to the left, right? Current shelf of resistance. If that breaks, right, then what are we looking at? Next major daily level is kind of way up here at this sort of pivot and dead cat bounce high. I would argue, for the sake of not being overly dramatic to the upside, that this is kind of the number around 28.20. Call it 28, right? And the reason we're picking that is because we had rejection here with these upper wicks. Support closed right here, rejection on that green candle upper wick, a couple of pieces of support, and that's really where the breakdown stemmed from on that nasty day here from in the past. So I would watch out for that as an upside target, but note, maybe this is a bump in the road, but really emotional, up and through this red candle. So again, 27 is a bump in the road, but the ultimate target is still here at 28.20. So those are my thoughts inside of SunPower. It's all going to depend on what happens with this gap. Is it a gap and go, in which case we have those upside targets here as well as here, or is it a gap and trap, in which case we know we're trading the short back down towards the high of this pivot as well as today's high at 23, the round number. So if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the framework, definitely let me know down below in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.